Hey guys, it's me Edgar here to do another video, and I wanted to I wanted to talk about something, and I really wanted to be honest with something. I really am getting a little bit sick and tired of people bitching and moaning about the MCU Spider-Man. In case you didn't know, the new costume for Spider-Man has been leaked, and it is official. It is official, idiots, and it really just kind of bothers me that people ask for Marvel to do a reboot of Spider-Man, and they pretty much not think for once of, wait a minute, be careful what you wish for, because you might just get what you want, but it's going to be completely different. And it's always going to be that statement of, why should I continue someone else's work if I could do it better, or I could do it my own? For example, I'm just going to use this for example, the Batman movie that's coming out. People dislike that because they would rather have yours truly, Ben Affleck, as Batman. Why reboot Batman if you have your Batman? And I get the point on that, but here's the thing. Ben Affleck doesn't want to do the character, and I feel like people are just don't want change, don't want something new and different. And we all know that when the day hits where we get to see Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson's Batman, it's going to be completely different. The same with fucking Ben Affleck. When he was casted and he was going to be a part of Batman vs. Superman and everything between on that whole hunky-dory shit, he was completely different than Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale's portrayal as Batman. So, I mean, like, why ask for something? Why be looking forward on something if you're just going to shit on it? I just don't understand. I just don't. Maybe you could explain it. Maybe you could tell me that I should look at it a different light. I get it. It's not the Spider-Man that you sign up for. The same will happen with X-Men. The same will happen with fucking Fantastic Four. Are you going to be bitching about them? I mean, it's kind of annoying. It's just annoying. I really feel that way. I really feel like it's just annoying that people love to bitch about something, but they don't literally asking on something. What's that word? They don't think for once of what they're asking for. They don't look at, what am I getting myself into? What am I really asking for? Something drastically different, to where it's nothing like the original, what came before. I like the MCU Spider-Man. I really do. And I'm going to say this right now. He will have the first successful Spider-Man trilogy. He will have that successful trilogy. There's no doubt about it. And I feel like people are so nostalgia. And I get it. This is the era of nostalgia. I really get it. I truly do. And to be fair, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be great seeing yours truly, fucking Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man again. It's going to be great seeing them. But yet again, my argument and my response towards these people, and even my friends, they told you they're going to do a completely different reboot. The same thing with X-Men. The same thing with Matt Reeves. He said it's going to be different, and it's not going to be a part of the DC EU. And everyone lost their shit. And pretty much he had to play damage control. And honestly, I mean, let's look at the Spider-Man MCU. The biggest crime and the biggest fuck up that they did was basically not do an origin story with this version of Spider-Man. I hope they don't do the same with the X-Men. I hope they don't do the same with Fantastic Four. They need to do the Fantastic Four as an origin story. They need to do the X-Men as an origin story. When you get their origin, you have that fucking relatability factor. You have that connection. There's a reason why Thor, Doctor Strange, Captain America, Ant-Man, fucking Black Panther, all these fucking characters have origin stories. The same will happen with Eternals. The same will happen with any other character, and you feel connected to every single one of them. The biggest problem with the MCU Spider-Man is that you don't feel that much connected because they didn't do an origin story. They establish him. They already pretty much have him get spider powers, and that's really it. They cater to the people who got fed up, got sick and tired of Sony's bullshit, and they basically set a message towards Marvel: don't do the mistake that Sony did another origin story and do the same shit that they did before. And they pretty much caved in. That's the problem. And I see nobody talking about it. Nobody talking about it. And it really pisses me off. It really pisses me the fuck off. And it's upsetting, but that's just it. But yet again, I like the MCU Spider-Man because it connects towards what I liked about Iron Man. And plus, I like the direction of what they were doing. I mean, granted, it took a while to get up there because his first movie, not that very good, very kid-friendly, very much just basic as fuck. I mean, I'm not saying it was trash, but it was just, honestly, it could have been a whole lot better, honestly. But it really could have been so much more. I really feel like they could have done a little bit more darker roots. They could have done a little bit more better job on its story, having the Vulture and everything X, Y, and Z, and you go forward with that whole direction. And hell, if they could have had Mary Jane just there, like they did with Gwen Stacy. I mean, there's Easter eggs of Gwen Stacy there. And I'm just like, I'm hoping that we get to see a Gwen Stacy. I'm hoping we get to see other versions of Spider-Man, or should I say other versions of his supporting characters, should I say. But I mean, I just get very annoyed on this. I just get very annoyed on, I get annoyed on people shitting on something that they know full intentions of what they're getting themselves into. I honestly fucking hate that crap. I like the MCU Spider-Man. I really want his origin. But yet again, it is what it is. I'm sure I'm going to get hated on because I think the Spider-Man MCU trilogy is going to be the most successful trilogy and the better version. But yet again, that's just me. I've met the Sam Raimi fans, which a lot of them I see a lot lately. And I see a lot of this argument of this, what's that word? The Sam Raimi trilogy was basically your classic Spider-Man. The Andrew Garfield was your version of the Ultimate Comics, which, yes and no. There is a lot of things with that statement that is, yes, that is true, but it also reflects the older comics of Spider-Man as well. And the MCU Spider-Man is basically your, how I put it, your MCU version of the businessman of Tony Stark, aka businessman Peter Parker. And I so hope we get Parker Industries. Oh man, that would just be so good. I would just be fucking throwing it. Like father, like son. Oh, I'm sorry. I really hope they do because that was one of my favorite moments in the Dan Slott run. Oh, that was just too funny and too hilarious. And I told one of my friends, What if they did that in the movies? My friend Eli, he fucking flipped, say, absolutely not, no way. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't be liking that shit. And to be fair, I mean, I also love the relationship between Tony Stark and Peter. I really do, and I feel like they really blend a good sense of humor, and they blend a father and son relationship, and I really enjoy that a lot. But I mean, it is what it is. I really just feel like with the whole Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson, it's going to be different. You're going to have a different Batman. It's going to be different on the whole X-Men. You may love it, or you will probably hate it. Get prepared for that. The same with Fantastic Four. I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four because it's going to have that whole theme. Phase 4. Fantastic Four. It's going to be really good seeing that. But I mean, I just get sick and tired of people just bitching and asking for MCU to pretty much do the X-Men, Spider-Man, and the Fantastic Four. But you're going to be bitching about it later down the line. I mean, your funeral, that's all I'm going to say. If you know what you're talking about and you're asking for something, it's your fucking funeral. I know exactly what I was getting myself into when I was watching these movies. Look, Far From Home is a better sequel, a better Spider-Man movie. I recommend that more than the Homecoming. To be fair, I think that movie is the mediocre film by far. Yeah, Vulture was cool. It was good to see moments to where the whole fucking part where you get to see the MCU Spider-Man in a solo movie. But it is what it is. I mean, I could go on, but I mean, I got nothing else to say. I really don't. And I just had to say this because I did a video on my thoughts on the Spider-Man costume, and I thought about my friends, and I thought about all the people are shitting on this costume, and I'm just like, you don't fucking get it, don't you? You really don't. I mean, like, you either knew exactly what you're getting yourself into, or B, you were too stupid enough and too blind that, hey, you didn't listen to what Kevin Feige said? I'm sorry. They told you they're going to do a new, different take on these characters. And also, another thing is, I'm getting sick and tired of people shitting on Robert Pattinson's Batman movie. Dude, that movie is going to be fucking insane. It's going to be greatness, and it's going to be your new Batman. I guarantee it. But I mean, it just gets old. It really does. Anyway, I'm sure I'm going to get roasted, but whatever. I mean, I love all three Spider-Mans. I'm not saying... I used to be that person that shits on the Tobey Maguire, but you know what? I mean, like, I like all of them. I grew up with all of them. But I mean, if you ask me who's the better version, I'm going to go with Andrew Garfield because he reminds me more of Peter Parker, not only in the 60s comics, but also today's comics. He reminds me of the Spider-Man in the current comics. Tom Holland, he reminds me of Spider-Man a lot, but also he reminds me of myself. You get the point of what I'm saying? But, yeah. I got nothing else to say. Anyway. Tell me your thoughts. Are you sick and tired of people bitching and moaning and crying on something that really they should have known better? I love to know.